An unknown girl, Melania Trump became U.S. First Lady states with wealthy billionaire Donald Trump. Family is behind each flickering light. At home, where parents work hard, unlock better futures for children. But beyond the cold beauty and curiosity-provoking silence, there are always questions. How did she visit America? Was Trump's marriage or love calculation? And resembles the perfect wife as advertised? Melania finally revealed disturbing facts, revealing a different portrait. Pressure makes it hard, dishonest, and full of lies. They wrote about me as well. Husband, let's investigate that unexpected adventure right now. My childhood was wonderful. At that age, you don't truly know anything better. Trump was born Melania Cavs in 1970, grew up in Little Town Sev, former Yugoslavia's Nixa. It was not a commercial town, cultural center, but quiet industrial area with some textiles, mechanical workshops, factories, little homes. Melania's background wasn't glamorous. Her father, Victor Cavs, worked in cars components sector, while her mother, Amalia, textile factory seamstress. The family was lower middle class. Not rich, but not poor either, with her modest edge. Father's local connections, Communist League. Melania's youth occurred in the disciplined group. One Yugoslavian society misstatement can cause trouble consequences. In such a setting, the girl observed more than spoke, keep quiet rather than reveal. The closed education system and frugal conservative upbringing family made her wary, restrained, and distant, characteristics of communication that became shaping her international image. In 1970s and 1980s, Srebrenica had no relation to glamour fashion. Small, gray streets, buildings, and heavy air of communal living made stage aspirations seem remote. Her mother's sewing job continues. First allowed Melania to fabric designs and tiny town shows. She was often taken as a child stage model wearing manufactured clothes from her mother. These small incidents coached Melania's performance, brought her confidence in crowds, primarily established the habit cold-faced with few expressions. Her locals described a tall, quiet girl, usually distant and only near ends, her sister. A closed community. Melania's reserve was both a reliable and distinctive choice. As Melania became notable as a teenager, due to her height and angular face. At 16, she caught his eye. Photographer Stane Jericho, Ljubljana, Slovenia's capital, then part of Yugoslavia. Her first photo series instantly appeared in a little magazine, letting Melania in the modeling world. A rare chance for an industrial town girl. Melania soon worked with local designers, advertised shoots, and eventually approached Milan and Paris. To fit better in worldwide market, she adjusted, given to Melania Naus. A variant seemed Westerner and memorable. Brands. In 1992, Melania reached Look of the Year finals in Slovenia, placing second. This accomplishment led to more contracts in Hamburg, Zurich, Milan. Still, her career was difficult. The early European fashion 1990s was tough and competitive. Temptations. Many young models compromised to raise quickly. Melania went another way. She stood firm, rejecting overly suggestive photos or suspicious offers. This delayed her career, but boosted her image. Disciplined model worker, clean and trustworthy. For nearly 4 years, Melania moved between Milan, Paris, Hamburg. She participated. Regular photo shoots, solid work, never reached supremacy supermodel. In comparison to her classmates, walkway was less bright but safer. Greater sustainability. A tipping point occurred in 1995 when she met Italian agent Paolo Zampoli, famous for his New York network. Zampoli spotted her striking potential, flawless face, and exceptional figure discipline in a volatile industry. He advised she visit America, a wide market with opportunities, but greater obstacles. At 26, Melania relocated to NYC. A late model standards where 18 was considered peak age and 22 as decrease. Melania's tardiness became beneficial. Already, she had expertise, discipline, and clarity about her objectives. New York's early months were hard. Melania entered tourist visa and participated in several shoots, which later sparked legal dispute. Later, she received an H-1B visa, formalizing her modeling gig. These legal issues did erupt years later, hot subject, when she became First Lady. With trials, Melania stayed committed to her path, calm, focus on work, avoid parties. In a business where noise meant opportunity, her solitude distinguished her. 1997, Melania breakthrough with a camel photographer shot cigarette campaign, Ellen Von Unworth. American law banned under 25 models from appearing in tobacco adverts. At 26, Melania fit perfectly, covering her image Times Square, a global media hub emblems, officially placing the name on American fashion, Melania Canal's map. She gained more after that. Major magazine opportunities like Vogue, Vanity Fair, Sports Illustrated. It stood out that even with some success, Melania, she lived privately. She bought Manhattan apartment, maintained constant labor, but little attended extravagant elitist gatherings. New York media called her invisible model, an advertising staple, but almost absent on entertainment pages. She was shielded by quiet, quick U.S. fashion extinction business, where many names rose and fell a couple seasons. Her career in America showed she could excel. Humble origins. A seamstress, says daughter in Sebica, she carved out the toughest fashion world. More crucially, she made a living strategy. Instead than seeking attention, she persisted despite loudness. Discretion. Unintentionally, this silence became the mystery cover. The media exploited ceaselessly. Modeling was just the beginning. Stone. In New York, Melania began a new cycle after meeting Donald Trump at 1998 fashion party. That meeting transformed her life, but also took an Eastern European girl directly into global center politics. Melania's path led to a whole different path. Fashion faded, and First Lady of the U.S. became unexpected new chapter, entering American politics. In January 2017, Trump was inaugurated as 45th President. U.S. Melania Trump officially became First Lady. Her arrival was historic. She became only America's second immigrant woman in history to win the title, John Quincy Adams' wife Louisa, over 2 centuries ago. For a former Slovenian model step-modeled for glossy mags into the White House, signaled global symbolization studied from every point. From the early days, controversy surrounding her choices. Unlike her predecessors, who quickly entered Washington and defined public initiatives, Melania insisted on staying in NYC. Barron should finish school at Columbia, grammar and prep school before moving. The move was an understandable mother's choice, but politically, it ignited fierce dispute. New York Times called her the invisible First Lady. Some critics accused her of ignoring duty. Some admired her for prioritizing her child. When she finally moved into the White House 2017 summer, Melania had the huge burden of creating a separate identity. Husband's political turmoil. Her Be Best May 2018 campaign promoted online safety, child mental health, opioids prevention. It resembled a conventional First Lady program, but critics criticized swiftly. It was ambiguous, say commentators. Conflicting because the administration pursued policies similar to Southern family separation border that contrasted with campaign child safety theme. The result, paradoxically, a First Lady demanded kindness, whereas her husband's policies created heartbreak. Yet, Melania's image was linked to policy was likewise inseparable from fashion. Dolce Couture was her go-to. Gabbana, Dior, or Ralph Lauren. Glossy mags called her the most stylish. Jackie Kennedy's successor is First Lady. Photos her impeccable outerwear, stilettos, structured dresses lined columns from Vogue to Vanity Fair. Fashion, however, once her comfort zone, sometimes became her worst flaw. In June 2018, she had a Zara jacket with the "I really don't care. Do you?" visit to migrant detention center. Even if she said it carried no political message, optics were disastrous. Critics called it chilly and tone-deaf. The jacket changed overnight. Detractors labeled meme a symbol of her empathetic detachment. Her marriage became another focus. Continual guessing. At public events, Melania fleetingly appeared on camera without holding Donald's hand. She looks away or walks slightly apart. These photographs spread worldwide. Considered silent protest. When the 2018 Stormy Daniels controversy, reporters pursued her for comment. She offered none. Instead, her quiet and her calm emotions and body language communication increased due to distance than words allow. Analysts called this her silent plan resistance. During national events crisis, she rarely stood at forefront. When COVID-19 epidemic, Melania encouraged in 2020 mask-wearing and vaccination short videos and web posts. Her engagement was low versus Michelle Obama's "Let's Move," defined a proactive period advocacy. Melania's quiet efforts shadowed by chaotic administration response to pandemic. The 2020 election contrasted with Jill Biden become noticeable. Jill was everywhere, with hubby Joe campaigning enthusiastically engaging voters. Meanwhile, Melania made only a one Pennsylvania rally. Political watchers remarked the absence concluded she didn't want a political partner in the traditional sense. Yet, throughout the turbulent, one thread never broke her protection of Barron. Unlike Trump's older children who thrived in media spotlight, Barron was protected. Photographers rarely caught him. Reporters found no interviews. His school was closely guarded. Once, Melania said, "A child only one childhood. I want anyone to steal from my son." This chant grounded her, distinguished her from previous First Ladies' adopted political ambition. She continually put family before politics. Trump's first term ended in January 2021. The Melania left Washington with characteristic restraint. There was no brushing goodbye, no emotion goodbye tour, no public statement future plans. She was filmed, entering Air Force One at night clothing, expressionless eyes, forward, not back. It was visually punctuated, ending no words. Washington Post summarized plainly. Melania Trump is first ex-First Lady to turn absence into communication strategy. While other ex-First Ladies started foundations, spoke Melania tours, or writes memoirs became almost silent. No book, no big charity, no social media crusade. She retreated to Mar-a-Lago, managed a tranquil life, barren education, select management appearances, and avoiding the swirl Washington politics. Her stillness grew, its own presence. Pundits argued whether she calculated or indifferent. Some framed her as a hesitant Trump participant in imperial politics. Others perceived her as wisely creating mystery. A few suspected she was preparing, silently recording events future reveal all that could shape her legacy. Melania finally broke at 54, quiet with a rare confession that resonated worldwide. During a controlled interview, she admitted what many long suspected: her Donald Trump marriage was realistic. Arrangement, a fairy tale without romance, not political theater, but practical partnership. She emphasized family, stability, and Barron's safety trumped political theater. For the First Lady, many had termed invisible, spoke to reality she lived. This disclosure seismic. Analysts termed it a breakthrough in understanding the modern First Ladyship. No longer portrayed as passive, Melania stated a belief. Her silence was strategy, not weakness. By keeping quiet, she controlled storyline better than by speaking. Every phrase was analyzed by media. CNN named her the most mysterious first women in modern history. The Guardian described her marriage as transactional agreement. Commentators argued whether her statement was intentional rebellion, subtle distance from a truthful view of Trump's politics truth. More crucially, her confession changed her image. The public started reinterpret her White House years: house, cold stares, distant walks, few words, none longer detachment, but evidence via calculation. She weaponized silence. Reflecting on Melania's term 2017 to 2021 appears not to be typical advocacy tale visibility, but as a masterclass absence. She redefined to become a First Lady by turning silent into an active control method. In doing so, she left a contradictory legacy yet strong. She is not remembered for, but for what she did or said she rejected, and for the words delayed till she was ready. Her confession at 54 ended one chapter, but opened another. That moment, Melania Trump became more than an accessory. Political rise of Trump. She captivated her their own. Mysterious, strategic, and undoubtedly influential. Thus, her tale continues with questions, still silent, reminding planet where sometimes the most powerful voice awaits. Confession. At 54, January 20th, 2025, Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 47th president. He started his second U.S., not consecutive. His wife Melania Trump also appeared. Following 4 years of relative seclusion, she attended the inauguration. Stroll through St. John's Church inaugural ball. National prayer service ruled globally instantly. Headlines. Her return did not indicate full political participation. Instead, Melania measured her approach. Reemergence. Her attendance was limited. Ceremonials, diplomatic events, avoiding politics confrontation. The media emphasized her community involvement. A reception and Project State visit to UK and work with youth groups. Her return matched restricted image she built during her first term. She centered herself privately. Barron's World. Her 2025 son joined a New York joint program, Washington, D.C. campus of university. For it justifies Melania's selective public role, limiting visibility, maintaining his privacy and stability, a principle she upholds not negotiable. Beyond the ritual, she moved. Claim a separate identity husband. Her 2022 NFT launch spurred debate on digital transparency. Yet, it aimed to construct a public her own presence. By 2024, she revealed a memoir soon dubbed Upcoming Political Bombshell. Upon release, it topped NYT best-selling list. In 2005, she tried with AI release autobiographical audiobook encouraging voice conversations, publishing ethics, and replication. A constant in her image kept quiet, deliberately strategic, and her activities were rare. Policy disputes. Averted conflict includes journalists and reserved public remarks for well-staged moments. People will ask if you're silent. Their inquiries. When they guess you control the story, she once stated. Phrase became a lens analysts interpreted her full public strategy. Unlike Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama, who publicly Melania pursued political initiatives separated from legislation battles. She focused energy instead towards education, culture, let absence be diplomacy act as influence. In September 2025, her UN appearance became emblematic. As she rose, diplomatic delegation escalator, the machine stopped suddenly. The event received extensive coverage. Some worried about security breaches, inform others of hidden meaning. True to form, Melania said nothing. Silence shaping the story. Days later, she reappeared. Spotlight during a 3-day state visit to the UK. From Windsor, King Charles III and Queen Camilla met with Prime Minister Keir. Visit to Chequers by Starmer emphasized her simple approach: diplomacy, cultural interactions, silent support for Queen Princess Kate, Camilla. At the UN's same 80th General Assembly session month, Melania inaugurated Fostering the Future Together, worldwide coalition focused on education, innovation, fair technology access. Her speech stressed kid protection in an increasingly digital world, echoing her earlier Be Best Themes initiative, but expanded. Her advocacy returned domestically arena. In 2025, the Take It Down Act made law, demanding quick elimination of non-consensual intimacy content and deep fakes. Melania's signing attendance signified one of her rare direct endorsements policy, solidifying her focus on safeguarding families and children digital mistreatment. Her East Wing duties also changed. November 2024, she appointed longtime assistant Haley Harrison staff leader, indicating continuity, inner circle loyalty. Harrison's reappearance emphasized Melania. Trusted figures instead vast networks to manage her image. She reignited Be Best in an updated online safety forum and 2025 mental health. Digital exploitation underway scrutiny. Melania promised to increase educational initiatives and collaborations, streaming platforms supporting her limited yet focused advocacy. Through all this, one pattern appeared. Melania posed as both present and absent. She dodged it. Political conflict when silent, promoting well-selected initiatives, symbolic appearances. Her silence magnified her small presence, words weighing heavily. At 54, she was no longer the quiet shadow behind her hubby. Her memoir, her deliberate public reemergence, UN initiative, and restrained diplomacy changed her identity. From Slovenian childhood to second-time First Lady, she now represented a paradoxical influence, less by her words and more by withheld. She traveled since 2025, shows a control-based method, also symbolism. Each appearance is each absence planned. Silence shaped her public persona, protects and statement. From NFTs to best-selling UN memoirs initiatives to state visits, Melania Trump changed the first position. Lady, not policy platforms or campaign trails, but by converting silence to power. Her tale endures, unfolding, less reaction, more regarding design. As her Washington chapter proceeds, the world watches a mastered by woman absence presence. Do not miss the next revelation. Subscribe now. Reveal Trump's hidden layers, a family tale.